Hey cuties, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I just wanted to kind of have a quick sit down, give you a little bit of a status report on where I'm at with my journey. So I hope you stick around. Okay, I am going to start with introducing myself. I've gotten quite a few more followers, so I just thought I'd introduce myself. My name is Cindy. I am on a weight loss fitness journey. I've been on this, I'm going to say really seriously, since last May. So what would that be? About a year and 5 months or so? I've been working really hard. My progress is going rather slow, but I'm keeping at it. I keep going. I just can't give up this time. There's really no excuse. And just a little recap of what I'm doing. I am eating in a calorie deficit. I get a lot of grams of protein each day. I work really hard at that and it can be very difficult, but I'm doing it. I work out with weights about an hour to 2 hours a day, 3 times a week. I'm working really hard at that too. I progress, I add weights, I change up some of the moves sometimes if I find they're not working. I've never ever done that before. I've played around with weights, that's what I'll call it, but I am on a very serious, I guess you could say, a very serious routine. I write it down in a notebook. I've done a lot of research about what weights to use, what moves to do. So I take it very seriously. I do it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If for some reason I cannot do it one of those days, I will do it the next day or the day before, however it works, but it's always 3 days a week. Plus I do a warm up each day of cardio before the weights. And then I do Mondays and Fridays, I do a little HIIT training at the end for about 15 minutes or so. Then on Wednesdays, I do yoga. And then 3 days a week, I try to get some neat movement where I am walking for at least 2 miles, which is a total doubling increase, or an increase, I should say, by double of what I used to do. I felt like for years, if I did a mile, that was great. I'm doing really good. And I'm like, come on, you can do way more than that. So I've upped it to 2 miles. Now there are days where I can't do it, whether it's weather permitting, if I want to go outside, or schedule conflicts, whatever it might be. But I do try to get at least 2 miles. As part of my routine, I am also meditating every morning. I drink a big glass of water first thing when I get up. And then if you watched any of my videos, I am on thyroid medication, and I was kind of being really bad and slack about not waiting that full hour after I took my medication. So I've been trying to really stick to waiting an hour until I eat breakfast. So I also started a 75 soft challenge, and I'll link the video below of where I mapped out everything that I'm doing for my 75 soft challenge. It's been going pretty well. I'm really happy with it. I did my measurements in the beginning. I weighed in the beginning. I do these habits every single day. And that's really what this challenge is about, more than really weight loss, is sticking to habits every single day for 75 days. So I'm going to link that video below if you want to see how I've been doing that. I'll maybe put something on the screen somewhere, just a quick kind of synopsis of what I'm doing. But I'm doing really well, and I've been trying to hold off from doing the measurements until the very end. I have been weighing myself, so this is really funny. I am struggling, well, not funny, but I'm struggling to make it to 50 pounds lost. I don't know what it is, if it's my age, my hormones, something, my thyroid. That's why I started being really careful about waiting that hour. But I just can't seem to make it to 50 pounds. So I tried a little experiment, and I weighed in every single morning, which I don't like to do. I really just think it can be bad for my mental health, I guess you could say, or my attitude. So I wanted to try it for a week. So I did. And I could see these slight fluctuations, but I didn't get upset. I took it with a grain of salt. And then this past Sunday, I weighed in. That was the last day I was going to do it. And sure enough, I reached 50.3 pounds down. You don't know how excited I am. I swear it's been probably the last 5 months or so have been really hard. The scale is not moving down very often. And if it does, it's like slightly, then I might gain a little bit. And I mean a little bit, like 0.7, or I think one time I gained a pound. I don't really know why, but I've really been struggling. So I was so happy to finally get to that 50.3 pounds down. So I'll weigh in again at the end of my 75 soft challenge, but that made me so happy. And I knew I could kind of feel it. I think as women, we all kind of know, if we've maybe lost a little bit, we can feel it before we even get on the scale. So that's the other thing too I wanted to talk about or just mention. I feel so good. So the fact that I can't reach a certain number, I've been really trying to focus on how I'm feeling. I mean, this time last year, there are so many things that I couldn't do. I couldn't really get on the floor very comfortably and get back up. Now, granted, it's still not graceful as it used to be a couple of years ago, but I definitely can get on the floor and back up when I'm doing my push-ups and the yoga moves and things like that. That has improved so much. Also, when I think I mentioned this in another video, but when I would go up the stairs, I have a lot of stairs in my house, I could not believe one day I heard what sounded like wheezing. And I'm like, now I'm the only one around. I said, this can't be me. I can't be wheezing. I don't feel it, but I could hear it. And I kept hearing it. And I said, oh, I think that was actually the turning point of when I knew I really had to do something with my weight and my cardiovascular. So that I haven't heard a single thing of wheezing. I feel much better going up the stairs. So that's definitely a big improvement. Another big thing I've noticed just over the last year and a half is much more energy. And even now that I've kind of increased my protein even a little more, definitely the amount of energy I have is, just through the roof. It's great. I love it. And one last little change up I've made. I know I talked about this in other videos. If you watched any of the other ones, I talked about not over restricting myself. So I have increased my calories a little bit. And I mentioned that I do kind of a loose diet day or a cheat day or whatever you want to call it. But I was finding, of course, over time that I was getting a little too loose and it would turn into the whole day. I would almost plan it out. Like I'm going to have everything I don't eat during the week. And that's kind of my diet mentality from years ago. And I really was disappointed that I kind of got back into that. Sometimes it would even lead to the next day. And I had a hard time getting back on track. And I think I was fooling myself into thinking that, I was not over restricting and I was going to, give myself little treats here and there, but they of course turned into big treats. So what I decided to do a couple weeks ago is I left it as one meal. So like I mentioned, my husband usually cooks on Saturdays and he makes a not so necessarily healthy meal. And I mean, he's not watching the butter portions and the fat and the portion sizes. So I said, okay, I'm going to allow myself to have whatever he's making within reason as far as portions, but I wasn't going to try to figure out the fat and the calories and all of that. And if he made a special dessert, I would partake. Again, not crazy amounts of food. And if he didn't make dessert, I was going to treat myself to 2 scoops of regular ice cream. I am an ice cream fiend. So that's kind of what I was doing. And I think that might be a big reason why the scale is actually moving, because I wasn't changing anything else as far as the amount of exercise, my calories, my protein. Everything was still the way that I had been doing it. And that was just a little bit of change. And I think that's really what moved the scale a little. And also maybe the fact that I was being much more strict with waiting that hour for my thyroid medication before I would eat anything. Maybe that had something to do with it too. So yeah, like I said, I am super happy. I just wanted to sit down and kind of give you a status update, reintroduce myself to anyone who's new. So if you're on your own weight loss fitness journey, please comment below. I would love to hear what you guys are doing, how you're doing. Any fun tricks or tips that you could give us, leave them in the comments. That would be really good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you got something out of it. It was really just to share with you guys my status. I want to hear your status, what you're up to. So if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit your bell notifications so you see every time I upload a new video. I upload long form videos every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I'll do shorts here and there that you can see. Have a great day, everyone.